Welcome everyone to the Spiritual Freedom Support Call number 19. How is everyone doing this week? I know Justin, you said you're not feeling too good today. How's everyone though?
Doing great.
Doing great?
Doing really good.
I
Yeah.
have a really bad migraine today.
I know.
Oh,
Is everyone's Christmas shopping done yet?
No.
We just know you're a last minute guy, huh? Well, Christine,
Ask me if I'm going Christmas shopping. You should do that part.
are you going Christmas shopping?
No.
Well, Justin, let me tell you something about marriage. Because I wouldn't either, but a certain a certain person named Christine has been hounding me. I'm not a holidays person.
He is a Grinch.
I am a Grinch. No, I like everyday life. I don't like things out of the ordinary. I don't like,
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way.
so I didn't have much of a choice about the matter. So I'm with you, but Justin.
He's a freaking Grinch, and he spoils my life. When it comes to
Christine,
Yeah.
Christine, you're not alone. Don't worry, you're not alone there. I can assure you that.
Oh my God!
Yeah, you are not alone. Trust me.
Is your husband the same?
Yeah. He's like,
it's a guy thing.
that's a big deal.
It's a guy
You know what?
thing.
I
You
just
know what,
don't,
Christine? No, I will tell you. You just think that you are alone. Just consider that. You want to do it because you love to do it. Forget you have to explain it to anybody. You don't have to. Yeah. Seriously.
I don't
Seriously.
Well, Justin, if you want to keep it the same, don't get married, because you'll be Christmas shopping.
Yeah.
find a
Oh
woman.
my God.
I better find a woman
That's
that
not
doesn't like
true.
Christmas or doesn't care about Christmas.
I'm sorry.
I need a woman that doesn't care about
I've
Christmas.
never
Either
met
it's
one
high
before,
or
so if you, I've never met.
Why?
high or
Huh?
You took my headphones.
Oh, sorry. Well, you're not close enough.
I don't know.
I've never met anyone.
I'm not adverse to it. I'm just not going to put forth the effort, and I'm not adverse to it. If it's not anything to do damage to a marriage over, I will let her know this isn't my thing. But if you want Christmas, I will have Christmas with
Right.
you. Because
Well,
that's what you want.
Right. That's how I am.
Yeah.
Well,
I
we did
mean,
it easy
no.
this year. We got a whole bunch of I bought some Amazon gift cards to put it on balance, and then we just bought all of our gifts on Amazon.
It was easy.
And they're coming. We did it yesterday. They're coming Thursday, and so that's how we did our Christmas shopping. We're not going anywhere.
I got a $25 gift card from Amazon. I forgot about that.
Oh, cool. It took us, maybe an hour tops?
Not even.
And that was just because most of that was Christine deliberating what to get her mother. Everyone else took like 15 minutes altogether. I had already got my mother a couple weeks ago. And then, so we got everything
I
else.
just drank some emergency.
Oh, good.
Emergencies.
But yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, I'm not, big into like that kind of stuff. But
I just like gift giving. I just wish
I
you
know.
could gift give all the time.
you could.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm one. I've learned that gift cards are
Money.
the thing to do
I like
because
Money
that
and gift
way
cards.
they can
Yeah.
get whatever they want. You don't have to worry about if they like the
Yeah.
Yeah.
gift or not. You
Right.
know.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
And
Yeah.
I would give you $50 just because there's no trouble in doing it. You just
Right.
reach out, give it to you.
But
Yeah.
then some people see. I like that too, but some people think that's too impersonal.
So it is personal because I don't like it. Actually, for me, it's personal.
Right.
It's as personal as I like it.
Or you have an Amazon wish list and you get whatever off the list.
That's what we do. Like everyone. So we do.
There you go.
We do. Well, her mother's side of the family is easy because she has to get for her mother. Her mother won't do a wish list, so we have to guess what she wants based on several hints throughout the year. But then her sisters have wish lists. I told my mother to create a wish list, and then Christine's father's side of the family, because it's a bigger family, they do a Secret Santa, so you only have to buy for one person, and then obviously
Yeah.
she buys for her father. And
my sisters, just because.
Yeah, and your sisters. So, but everyone had wish lists except for her mother. So that took a little guessing. But everyone else had wish lists. You just choose something in your budget, and I love wish lists.
Yeah.
I don't.
You don't? Because then you know what the person
it means
wants.
I gotta. Because it means I actually have to do Christmas.
He's Grinchier than I am.
True. Justin wins the Grinch Award.
I'm saved.
You've redeemed yourself.
Yeah.
I be doing things for people for her throughout the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's
No, it's cool. I mean, honestly, I would say this: I would love to spend the Christmas holidays with my wife.
Yeah.
If I have one, eating and going to Christmas parties for the party, not for the Christmas.
Yeah.
And and just eating good food and just enjoying the fact that it's cold outside and we're in here.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, or I'd buy her something just because it's her. If she wants it, I don't care.
Right. That's awesome.
We don't do that enough, the gift giving stuff.
Is that gift giving? I know.
Y'all can give me a gift whenever you want.
I
know what I'm saying is he and I don't do that enough.
Yeah. It added up. Well, we knew what we were getting each other just because it's easier. I get everything off of my Amazon because that's where the gift card balance was, and so we thought, okay, what do we both want for each other? You know what I mean? Like, what does Christine want? What do I want? And then we got it for each other. Yeah. So it worked. I got a book I really wanted. Your Life is Art by Robert Fritz. Remember Robert Fritz who does the Path of Least Resistance I talked about?
Yeah.
He had another book, but the darn book was like, for a Kindle book, was like $15.95 or something. And
wow.
So I waited till Christmas. But so that's what I got. Mm-hmm. And then Christine got an oil.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Spikenard. Yeah.
I've got High John the Conqueror, Dragon's Blood. I've got I got all kinds of oils, a few oils, not all kinds.
So this
I got the Lotus.
This one is, I've never used Dragon's Blood. This one is from Abba Oils.
Yeah.
ABBAOILS.
Yeah, I got a occult shop that I go to. I got two of them, but I got one down the not too
We don't
far
have
off.
any of those around here.
What are they?
Occult shops.
Amazing stuff.
We don't have any like that.
They have a lot of the saints too, because that's what I use.
Yeah.
The Christian magic, or kind of a combination of shamanism and conjure and like some crystal and energy stuff, and it's a little bit of eye magic that we put it together.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. I finally found a Hades statue finally on Amazon of all places, and so I'm getting that. I'm excited for that one.
Mm-hmm. Now, those oils are great from the occult shops, because I used to use 13 Moons. That's another website. Justin, if you're interested in, like, if you don't want to go somewhere, 13 Moons is a really good shop for that kind of thing. And they have oils for, like, Raphael and the angels and stuff, if you're interested. 13, yes. It's called 13
They
Moons.
do at Lucky Mojo. Those two.
Never heard of that one.
Lucky Mojo's amazing. I'm going to check out 13 Moons. They've got archangels and saints.
I don't know about saints, but they have
I never saw saints stuff, but they do have angels.
But the thing that I don't like about their oils is they're more essential oils. They're not like, I tried to use it. Huh?
Not like mixed in the carrier oil.
They're not mixed in carrier oil, so you can't like...
You can do that.
Yeah, you can't like anoint with it. I don't know what you use it for.
But you use them on candles.
Okay.
Because you said that you can't anoint with them.
It's hard to.
Was that because it aggravates the skin?
Yes.
You put them on candles.
Oh, okay.
You use them on candles. You can feed your candle as you go. If you use a 4 or a 5-day candle or a 7-day candle,
I don't
you
use
can put them on rotary candles. You can put them on crystals.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My oils I use for anointing.
Yeah, I use them for both. So you can put them on candles. which are amazing.
Uh-huh.
If you want, you can put them in like water magic. So you can, if you want to freeze someone or freeze something, you can get an oil to help you out and put your name in a jar.
Oh, that's cool.
And, you know, put energy into it and shake it up. And then if you want, if you got the right oil, like if you got Run Devil Run oil or something,
right.
You put that in the jar. You know.
That's awesome.
And you can do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, that's really cool. I have two things. Well, one thing to announce, one thing to mention before we get into questions and discussion and stuff. The first thing is, and you'll probably have seen the email, I have deals going on this week for the courses, like for the 10 Essential Keys course, and the Art of Reality Creation, Money and Effortless Money, and then for my money coaching service, I have deals going on. So for those who might be interested in that, it's 20% off, and it's going to be at cocreationcoaching.org/Christmas 2016, and it's going on until this Saturday. The other thing,
going on until Christmas Eve. That's
how I've seen other people doing
okay.
it. I don't know. Everyone says it's till December 24th. So,
okay.
That's a Sunday.
No, Christmas is on Sunday.
Christmas Eve is Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. What am I saying? See that?
So, the other thing, all right, I said I had a funny story.
You were wondering.
So, I've been working on, I had this intention going on. I was trying to find a good way of transcribing. Because if anyone's ever tried transcribing yourself, it is
I have.
time-intensive, painful process. Have you?
I've transcribed myself and another person.
What's that?
It's horrible. Don't ever do it. Oh my God, I could have told you to just don't do that.
Well, yeah, transcribing audio is. You're talking about transcribing audio, right?
Yeah, counseling sessions. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, it's hard. I know. And so I was, but the thing about doing it yourself, it's free. Transcribers are very expensive. So I was holding this intention.
I had to do it for somebody.
Yeah, poor Christine that worked. So I was holding this intention to. Well, first a little funny story before the other funny story. I had two funny stories. So I said, look, universe, I want a transcription method that is fast, easy, and cheap. Okay? Those are my three criteria. All right. So I found this really cool service called Speechmatics, and it's like an automated, like a machine, like you upload your file and they do it, and it's like 7 cents a minute, which is really, really cheap. So I do it there, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. It was pretty accurate considering it's a machine. But then I realized to go through and correct the mistakes, there were still a lot of mistakes. Oh my gosh, some hilarious. In the one audio I was talking about, like, remember in the
did you find it?
What
it was? What they meant and
Well, this is the one I already remember. I think it was in the Art of Reality Creation. I was talking about the abundance seed versus the lack seed, and so it couldn't get lack seed. They kept saying flaxseed or
yeah.
And it meant something else. They called it toboggans.
Yeah, something else that translated as toboggans. I don't remember what that one was supposed to be.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It couldn't quite get NLP. It would do, like, the LP. Like, LP isn't that a type of medical thing? Like a nurse or something?
LPN.
I don't know. But the LP, and then, like, NLP, it just could not get that word. And funnily enough, can you get a little closer? Because you're pulling your headphones. Funnily enough, it did get Richard Bandler and John Grinder. It did get those perfectly, of course. But NLP, it just couldn't get. So I'm like, I'm wasting. Like, it would literally be faster for me to type this all manually than to go through and correct these errors. So then I realized, okay, so it did satisfy my criteria. It was fast, cheap, and easy. Easy, fast, and cheap. It was all three of those. It just wasn't accurate. So I said, all right.
I could have told you that's the problem.
So I said, look, I'm adding accurate to my list. so
that's pretty funny.
Yeah. So then I found. So then another solution came around. Have you ever heard of Amazon Mechanical Turk? Brenda, I just told you about this yesterday.
No.
It's Do you know the idea of crowdsourcing? Really? Okay.
What?
Crowdsourcing?
I do,
Heard of
but
it. I don't know what it is.
Crowdsourcing is basically where you split up a task into a bunch of little parts, and you get many, many, many different people to do parts of those tasks for you. And that's
Oh, that's what
fast.
we're doing. Right.
Right. It's really fast. It's split up. It's pretty inexpensive. So Amazon Turk is basically this way of you split up tasks, and you have people do like couple minute. It'll be tasks that take a few minutes, and they'll pay you like less than $1 for this thing that takes a few minutes. And so that's you can do it for transcription. So I split up my audio files for the 10 Keys course from last weekend into 2-minute segments. So it equaled out to like 48 audio files. So it was 96 minutes. So I uploaded them to Turk, and so they did. I said how much I'd pay for each segment, and so it did satisfy all those criteria. But obviously, I mean, people aren't familiar with this material. There are some mistakes. So I want to read to you one of the hilarious mistakes I discovered. Like, again, probably 98% is super accurate, all right? So this is really not bad. But let me read to you this one hilarious mistake, all right? This is Justin speaking, and you were talking about the hermit path, all right? And this is when we were talking about the hermit path. So let's see. You said, I'm so happy I got to learn about the hermit path, the mystical hermit path. I had no idea. All right, so here's what here's what the person thought you said. Hang on, let me get to it. I'm so happy I got to learn more about the hermit crab, the mystical hermit crab.
Okay.
Oh my god!
wow.
You learned about the mystical hermit crab.
The hermit crab is mystical. It's actually an animal. It's got
You should go to discover it now.
The mystical.
I'm gonna look that animal symbolism up. Actually,
you should. The hermit crab, the mystical hermit crab.
I love that.
Oh my god!
I just started cracking up laughing. Oh
yeah,
my
that's
goodness.
hilarious.
I'm like, wow.
How much did you pay everybody for that? For that?
It was 40 cents per audio file, which was 2 minutes each, and so in total it was like less than $20. So it wasn't bad.
That's good. I guess if you sat around and did that for a few hours a day, though, you'd make some extra money.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but the mystical hermit crab, and people like I had one person who did like 10 of my tasks, so they really like doing it. But anyway, so that was the funniest. I laughed so hard at that one. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
So
it is funny.
That's my new catchphrase: the mystical hermit crab.
Mystical hermit crab.
I just can't. Can you imagine this?
You should invent some dish kind of like name of that dish.
Or something new.
Can you imagine this person sitting around and type? Why did they talk about a mystical? Well, I'll write it down.
I just don't know how they could get that wrong. Like cat and crab.
Well, because he's on the phone, so it sounds sort of muffled. So, I mean, it's
crab and path. The thing about hermit and crab,
right?
It makes sense. And crab and path sort of sound alike.
Yeah, you have the same vowel sound, like
And
path,
it's hermit, so you got hermit crab. Hermit crab, okay. Well, they're talking about mysticism and magic or whatever, law of attraction. So I guess, hermit crab. That makes a lot of sense. Animal symbolism is great.
That's my new catchphrase. Coaching where you can learn about mystical hermit crabs. Anyway, so that's my funny story.
Oh my god.
I know.
That's too funny.
It made me laugh so hard. So, but it went really well. Like it's 47 of the 48 files, are done. So afterwards, I just have to glue them all together. Proofread it. Probably take me an hour or two, and that's it. So it's a really nice method of doing it. So anyway, but
Oh, that was good.
Yeah,
I was there. Oh god.
Yeah, I told Christine about it right away.
No, he laughed his head off.
Oh my god, we laughed for like 5 minutes. So
That's
anyway,
funny.
yeah.
So if he has part of his head missing. I'm just kidding.
So choking.
Oh, sorry.
But so any questions about anything today that you'd like to bring up?
I want to ask you something, Brandon. It's about passive people, you know.
About what?
I don't know how they're passive people, those who are, you know, neither happy nor sad, not like, you know, they're okay kind of thing. I mean, how you should like interact with them. I mean, you know, especially when they are your family members, and you know, it's obvious you feel drained, but I don't know how to work around those people who are just, you know, they are like they are just same all the time, you know. Their energy doesn't like move much, especially not so excited or not so sad.
Right.
So,
yeah. The issue is like what happens when you try to talk to them?
I mean, no, you know what, I feel lost a lot of times, like either they hardly talk, no matter I talk like say 10-15 minutes, they will just talk 1 or 2 sentences. It's like that.
Right.
Like banging your head, and you know, it's because you know I have to talk to them. It's a family, so I just don't understand like what to do. A lot of things you want to talk, but because they are like okay, fine, you know, not interested kind of thing, and I never seen them being so excited about absolutely anything.
Do you know what their interests are? What kind of things?
I was gonna say, what are they interested in?
Yeah, what are they interested in? Like,
nothing much. Like, you know, they are like, I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, I maybe I don't know. That's what I want to ask you. I mean, we of course we have to protect ourselves, but no matter what and how strongly you do get affected by other people's aura, and you know, it's very. I mean, before I didn't know all this, and I always used to feel like, I mean, why is it? What's happening? Are they understanding what I'm saying? Do they want to talk? Even if you ask, I mean, there is not much like open end discussion as such. I would say it's just like, okay, you want this, take it. You don't want, leave it. That kind of, you know. You are like, oh God.
Right.
I am like, you know, I like to be honest about however and whatever I feel. I'm that kind of person. I'm maybe over-expressive kind of thing, but yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. How to handle low energy people, you know?
Well, when I hear low energy, I think of negative, and from your description, it doesn't sound like so much negative as just
yeah.
Is that they're just more
apathetic?
Apathetic. So with NLP, one of the first things we learn is how to build rapport with people, because if you don't have rapport with someone, you have nothing, and you have a couple seconds to instantly build at least some level of rapport with someone when you're talking to them. So, you know, the best way to find some kind of rapport is, again, to discover what they're interested in. You know, what do they like to talk about, and that might just be observation. When they do talk, when they do say something significant, what are they talking about usually? You know, politics, or is it, you know, work, or something else, or what is it? And you know, that kind of try to go off of that, and it might not be something you're interested in, and so you have to make the decision. Do you want to talk to that person? Is it worth it?
No, the problem with that particular person is that person is very quiet nature.
Right.
Doesn't like to talk much, interacting with a lot of people, and very introvert kind of person. And
right.
it's just actually he's my brother.
I see.
It's just hard. He's very. We struggle a lot of time, me and my mom, to understand what's happening with him, what's going on. He just. It's very hard to, and that's what, like, don't know. You ask, but you don't get very satisfied answers, or never anything like they really want. And then after a certain time, you just give up.
Right. I would say, I know for me, I'm also introverted. When I'm in a gathering, there's no one quieter than I am.
Okay.
And
you said there's no more been quiet than you?
No, yeah, exactly. And, here I'm talking and all that because I'm, obviously this is my element. But when I'm in a gathering, I am very quiet unless someone speaks to me. And I don't like when someone tries to force me out of my shell. Like if I get along with someone, I will naturally open up to them. And I know, I'm not saying he's the same way. Everyone's different, but this is just how I work. And I'm very introverted. If I like someone, if I'm, or if we have something in common, or if we've built rapport, I will open up to them. But otherwise, I don't like to be forced to come out of my shell if I don't want to. I like to I'm an observer. I like to sit by and just watch things happen. So the first thing I would say is, don't make him talk if he doesn't seem to want to. Like if you exchange a few words and you sort of just what I like it, oh yeah, and he's just, but don't force it. Don't try to make the conversation go, because that's breaking rapport. When obviously there's not a click, there's not it's not clicking into place. Don't try to force that conversation because it's not going to work. But you can find now. If you ever read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People, anyone ever read that book?
I have.
Have you?
I need to reread it. It's actually a great book.
It's a great book. More of it. But in that book, he says people love to talk about themselves. So if you can, ask him about himself, ask him what stuff he's interested in. Don't even talk about yourself for a while. That'll build instant rapport with a lot of people, not with everyone. But try just to gauge what kind of stuff he might be interested in to talk about. What does he talk the most about? And try that, but just be gentle about it. Like it doesn't sound like. From your description, it sounds like he's more quiet, not quite negative. And
yeah, right. More quiet. That's true.
He's introverted. That's just what he does. He's just introverted. He might be apathetic, or he might be introverted.
Introverted people
that's true.
Nothing more than when an extroverted person tries to come over. Hey, what's going on? Tries to, rope them into a conversation. And we're like, just leave me alone. Christina.
I'll be that extroverted person to come over and grab your hand.
I know. Oh my goodness. Christina will tell you she instantly knows when I have rapport with someone, when I like someone, because I will open up to them. Now it might take, and I know this is your brother, so this is a little different, but just in general.
But even still, I can't always be around him.
Right, like it might take several meetings with someone to really start to open up to them and talk. But even so, I will be quiet 90% of the time. Christina will talk to someone, I will say nothing, and sometimes people will ask, "Are you okay?" Like, yeah, I'm just hanging out.
Do you just let people talk, Brandon?
I just let people I just let people talk. So yeah.
And sometimes I have to be his bodyguard because people try to touch Brandon. He does not like to be touched.
I don't like to be touched
unless it is someone that he trusts.
Right.
And one of my friends tried, and I thought it wasn't okay. So I'm like, don't hug him. But it was okay.
The other day, that was fine.
But I didn't know that.
But that took how many? It wouldn't have been okay long before that. Yeah. So that took like months and months of her being around.
Yeah.
I'm not a touched person. I'm not a talkative person. Besides
I go with the flow. I don't like to be touched.
Exactly.
But I will go with the flow, and I can kind of go back and forth. I can subvert it.
Right.
Subvert it.
I can't. Touch is a very personal, intimate thing for me.
You said you don't, or you do? Justin likes to be touched. You don't.
He doesn't, but he'll go with the flow.
I really don't, but I go back and forth because I'm actually on the Myers-Briggs. I'm an 11 extrovert and a 10 introvert.
Oh wow.
I get my introvert because I live alone, and I might go out alone and stuff like that. So when I'm with people, I let that extrovert side do its thing.
Right.
For as long as I'm out, I've always been able to just go back and forth, but eventually, I want to, and I like to do one and the other because they both work to a certain extent. I don't like to randomly be touched by people I don't know.
The best description I've heard of introverts is that, the difference, that introverts get their energy from being alone, and extroverts get their energy from being with other people. And Christine could be in a gathering. Now, she has reached her limit before, but Christine could be at a gathering for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours.
I can too.
And an hour or two in, I'm like, I'm done.
And I can be alone for several days.
Even something I really enjoy, like the class we had on Sunday. Ask Christine after the class. I was like, yeah, I'm wiped out energetically. I'm done. It took it was a big energetic commitment for me. I mean, there's nothing I love doing more than the classes or anything like that, or these calls. But afterwards, I had to write a blog post later that night, and I'm like, I need several hours of a break, not rest, but of a break of just, doing nothing to get into the place where I could write a blog post, to feel normal again. It was around 10:30 or so that night that I could do.
Yeah, you're a real bad introvert.
Oh, I'm a very, very strong introvert. Yes, it takes me. Takes me hours to adjust to get back to normal.
Even with me, I sometimes can't even touch him.
Yeah. More so than other people, obviously, but yeah.
Which drives me crazy because I'm very
I loved when
tactile.
She didn't get the job at the church, but when she was doing the church music, I really enjoyed Sunday mornings because I got 4 or 5 hours. I don't like too much time without Christine, but I got 4 or 5 hours, alone, and it kind of gave me a chance to recharge, and so I liked that time. But yeah, I'm definitely an introvert. So you have to respect introverts, and they're all different. I'm a very, very extreme introvert. It's hard for me to open up. Even it took me a long time to even be able to speak this freely, because it used to be I would not be able to do videos or audio recordings or things like that without really tripping over my thoughts, because I used to just need to write to get my thoughts in order. I couldn't just express thoughts on the fly like that, and it's still hard sometimes. But so getting back to your brother, I would respect his boundaries. If he see if he wants to talk, kind of test the waters, ask him a few questions about himself, about what's been going on, or things that he's interested in, or whatever. If he's not taking the bait, then just leave him alone. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I know for an extrovert that feels like you're abandoning the person or something, but you're not.
That's right, but I'm just worried because he's not married yet. So I hope he will find a partner who will understand all these things.
How old is he? Can I ask how old he is?
He's 27.
27. That's still pretty young.
Yeah,
37.
He's doing good. He's a software engineer and got a promotions and all. But
programmers are introverts. All of us are introverts. I'm a programmer. I know. We're programmers. Get him and I together. We'll talk. I wonder you should ask him what programming language he does. I want to know what programming language he does.
Yeah, he good. He has developed so many apps and all.
That's so cool.
He loves all that stuff.
The thing is,
but wait,
But if he wants to live alone, what's wrong with that?
Yeah,
No, he doesn't want to live alone. But he's looking for girls for marriage. It's going to be arranged marriage.
Well,
so
now, here's what
so there you go.
Oh no! Don't get him a super extroverted wife.
Here's what he's gonna do. If he really wants a woman for marriage, he's gonna have to find a way to step up and talk to her. That is one thing he'll have to do.
Exactly.
Right. Well, let me tell you something.
Okay, you can be an introvert. You can be an introvert if you have what you want. So if if you will have everything you want and you're set and you can get everything you want, you can be an extreme introvert. But if you can't, you got to figure out how to be extroverted for a while. That's just
let me
sometimes
tell
you
you
have to step outside and do it. But I'll say this: you do want to respect his boundaries. He can try online dating because online dating would let him interact some without having to. I think it might be that if he were to exchange emails and phone calls, or maybe emails, it would warm him up some. He just might need to get warmed up. Online dating is a good way. Don't have him out there in the crowd trying to meet people. That isn't going to work.
And I was lucky that Christine had extreme persistence with me. I mean, I think any other girl would have been running away. Like, it was tough because I ran away.
Christine, what was that like?
He did.
What was that like, Christine?
Oh.
What was that like, Christine?
I had my eyes on the freaking prize because
that was tough.
It was really hard, but I wanted him.
Yeah.
And I was gonna get him. Damn it! And pardon me for swearing,
That's
but
a good attitude. Wow.
But I want to speak for a moment about introverts and marriage because
I think it's a good idea
because.
Well, I didn't know he was introverted at first, and I didn't know that, and
really, it was that big of a puzzle.
He was a huge puzzle. Well, I didn't know why the heck he was ignoring me.
Yeah.
At first, it started, and so I took him to class because I was showing him around the campus. That's how it all started. I gave him orientation and mobility around the campus because I was the only one that knew how to deal with blind people. And he transferred to the college that we went to. But then I kept calling, and he didn't answer the freaking phone.
Right.
So I was like, why is he not? This is weird. I just kept going and going and going. And then finally,
Yeah.
So.
It took time. But I want to speak about introverts and marriage because it is hard. And, again, I'm an extreme introvert.
And I'm an extreme extrovert.
She's an extreme extrovert. It's not been easy. I will tell you it's not been easy.
It's not.
At the same time, I don't think... Like, we are very extreme, but I don't think two introverts will get along together either.
No.
So you want a slight extrovert, but not so extreme. You know what I mean? Like,
Thanks.
No, just in general. Because remember the questionnaires we took from HMI?
Yeah.
We were like over 90% physical. There was a physical, emotional. And I'm an emotional, and she's a physical. And the physical, like, she was like over 90% physical, which is like super, on the extreme side, which is hard to pair off. Like, it's good for an emotional to be with a physical, but when it's like over 90% on one end or the other, it's hard for that person to adapt to the other person's personality, right?
Okay.
So,
I wonder if mine went down.
I don't know. So anyway, I was like, what, 20%, 20 or 30%? No, 25%. I don't remember what it was. But I was on the lower end of that scale, but not so extreme. But anyway, being introverted, you need to communicate. You need to tell the person, I need...
introverts would be hilarious, man.
I know, that'd be awful. You need to tell the person, I need my space. I need my space when I need my space. Not later, not in 2 hours. When I say I need my space. Because otherwise, it's like...
It's circles.
It doesn't work. It just gets overwhelming. So, an introvert who is, has his boundaries crossed is not a happy person. So,
he gets mad.
You need to set boundaries. Both people need to set boundaries, obviously, and it has been tough for us because we are absolute total opposites in that way, where I need space, she hates space, and
I get anxious with no space.
She needs touch. I don't like to be touched unless I'm good and ready for it, So it's been, we kind of had to have some arrangements and kind of like...
I've been better.
Yeah, both of us have been better. So it takes a lot of communication when you have a pretty extreme introvert and a pretty extreme extrovert. But you definitely need communication, you need boundaries. You need to say, "I need space." Her stepmother says the same thing because she's an introvert, and she will say to her, to Christine's father sometimes, I need space for a while, And
he used to get apparently really upset, which I never knew.
It takes time to acclimate. For an extrovert, that's like
that
a slap in the face.
It does hurt.
Right? Rhea, you'll get that. You just need to be an extrovert. But for introverts, it's like, okay, we need space, we need time alone, just a little bit will do. And then it's fine. You really need to respect those boundaries. So it works, though. It can work. But marriage,
it took years for us, and it's still. I'm still
kind of
working
like that Christmas thing.
Yeah. And that's the same thing with me. Is I like routine. I like everyday life. I like things.
I wonder if it's an introvert thing. Christmas. Because you don't like to be around people.
I don't. I hate Christmas parties and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's like it takes adjusting and it takes compromising on both sides. I go to these things like we have our compromises. I don't go to Christmas Eve Mass with the family because I can't do that. But I'll go to the Christmas Eve, like we'll have dinner on Christmas Eve.
And I can tell when he needs to go, and I'm like, okay, you need to.
And leave. A lot of times, like when we're invited over because we live right next to her mother. I mean, literally, think of like you ever seen Everybody Loves Raymond? And they were like right across the street.
Right.
We're like literally
Maria
neighbors.
and Dave, okay.
Yeah, and Frank.
Okay.
So that's like how we are, but her mother's not as intrusive as
no, not even
Ray's parents were. Oh my god!
No, my mom gives us our space.
But
she's really good about
so
that.
we're invited to dinner, every once in a while, and so sometimes it used to be where I felt I had trouble setting my boundaries, and I used to feel like I had to stay as long as Christine wanted to stay, but eventually I said to Christine, I need to head back. Like it's.
I've always said you could.
I know, but it was hard for me to really do that. So once it gets to that time where I'm like, I just need to go, I do it. I say thanks everyone. I need to get home, and I go, and that works. And then Christine will stay another hour or two, and it works. So it's taken time.
He doesn't like that very much, do you?
I don't mind it for a little while. It's like 5 billion hours.
I know.
But
it's harder when family comes in.
Yeah, I don't. But I've got a lot better with that.
You have. You've been amazing.
But same thing on Christmas. Like I don't go to Christmas Eve Mass, but she goes with her family. But I will go to like the Christmas Eve dinner. I will go to Christmas Day, going over for. But I need time first. Like we'll wake up and I need like an hour before so I can adjust, and then we can go over and see all the people, and we'll open presents over there, and then I think we're going to her father's house later that day. And then that night, I'm like, I just need no one to talk to me. The holiday is a real deal for me. I just, after it's over, I'm like, I need to just unwind for a while and just, everyone leave me alone, And I'm not going anywhere for a while. So that's how I work.
That's cool, man.
That's how I work. I'm, like I said, very introverted. But, but it can work as long as, as long as you're willing to set your boundaries and tell people what you need. And I can
usually tell them, like, okay, you're staying here.
Yeah. So, but it can work. I mean, and I think some people have trouble understanding introversion because it's different,
I used to, but the thing is I understood it because I majored in mental health.
Yeah.
So I think I understood it better than a lot of people do, but I still had... Right. It still is some getting used to.
Right. So, but
I never knew... A lot of people think it's unhealthy, introversion, but I never knew... I knew it wasn't unhealthy.
It's who you are. It's your
personality. Not unhealthy as long as he can produce.
Yeah.
I love it.
As long as he can produce whatever he needs, like whatever. As long as you can do whatever you got to do.
Right.
Get your money, get your love, get your whatever you got to get. It's not unhealthy.
It's your personality.
Right. Right. So
that's all you got. As long as you can do what you got to do, it's all good. That's kind of, because I'm sure you had to make some compromises. There's situations where you'd rather be an introvert and you've got to go be an extrovert, and then there's situations that she would want to be an extrovert and she's got to either let you go back home or go on with you. So it's got to be.
Yep. And like I said, we set up those compromises, those understandings, and we've even set up ways of me being able to tell her if I'm being overwhelmed by a situation, kind of our inside code, and that kind of thing. And that's important to us, and that works. It works for us. So, but that's important for a married couple to understand each person, that it's not just them being difficult on either side. It's something they really need, and they need to work together to get that worked out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it's taking us time to get there. So yeah, that's how it works.
I'm sure that also there are times, like you said, she just stays over for a little bit longer so she can talk. Because everybody's got to. What I like to say is everybody's got to get their candy. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
You have to know what candy everybody needs.
Right.
If you don't, it is a horrible time for you.
Yeah.
So you just got to know what time it is. Yo, man, all right, you need to go.
Yeah, it works.
Hey, you need to go.
Yeah. So does the answer?
I have a friend that's like I have a friend that's late a lot. So my thing is, I just make sure that we hang out when it doesn't matter if my friend is late.
Yeah.
But
some
I
people
won't.
are just like that.
Yeah.
Stuff. I mean, so everybody has their quirks.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to
So.
Yeah. So does that answer your question, Ria?
Oh yes, it does. It does. I mean, it's okay with me because I speak to him for just some time, but he's going to marry somebody, and before whoever he will finalize, I just want to make sure that she will be aware of what
Right, and
especially with the
Right, and
I just wanted to suggest him a few things, like what he should do beforehand, before committing somebody, and then she complaining rest of the life that
he needs to have a good a good sit down with her and just say, look, this is how I work.
That's what you need.
Communication is number one in a marriage.
Yeah, it is.
Communication. There's nothing more important than communication in a marriage. Nothing.
Yes.
So even
it's easier said than done, though. I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, it is. So even if you want to tell him some of the stuff we said today, and just make sure you're doing this when you're talking to this woman or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Or
communication, man.
Yeah, communication.
It is, and it's
hard.
He's
got to compromise.
Yeah,
he's got to compromise though. He can't just be like introvert and expect her to compromise. Some introverts I've seen kind of expect that. I'm like, no, you can't do that.
A marriage is two people coming together, and anytime that happens, you're going to have, okay, well, I'm this way, you're that way. We're going to have to meet in the middle somewhere.
Right, and sometimes, I'll give up my time and come home a little early. Or sometimes, if Brandon is really not feeling that well, I'll come home with him.
Right.
Or, I will give up my time with my,
And on the other hand, if something's really important to her, I will figure that out and, do the best I can.
You'll stick it out. Yeah, you keep trucking.
Right. So, on holidays, I always dread holidays for that reason, but I will do it. And,
sometimes he does it too much. I'm like, okay, go.
Because when we're at your father's, it's not like I can just walk home. Mm-hmm. And we're there for sometimes 4 or 5 hours. So then it gets but what really helps? What helped over Thanksgiving was
you brought a book.
I had an audio book, and I brought my phone. I brought my headphones. I know I was kind of afraid. Does this appear rude? But it wasn't in the middle of dinner. It was
do what you gotta do.
Couch.
I was on the couch. I'm gonna just kind of be in my little bubble.
Nobody cared.
I'm gonna be in my little bubble. I'm gonna read my book.
Nobody cared.
That's how it's gonna be.
I don't think anyone really knew.
So that really helped me to get through the whole, Thanksgiving. I plan on doing the same thing for Christmas.
I don't know if anyone really paid attention.
I don't think so. I don't think so. But that helped me a lot.
Yeah.
But I hope that helps. Yeah, just talk to him. Just say, you got to stand up for what you need.
Sure. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So let me know, especially if you have any other questions about that or concerns about
I will
him.
do, yeah.
Because we've dealt with this, and we've been married for 5.5 years now, Yeah,
my gosh, no way.
Almost. August.
February. It'll be 5.5.
No,
wait, September, October, February.
Yeah, February. Well, 5 1/3 years. Miss Exact.
Yeah.
I mean, you've only been married for 5 1/3 instead of 5 1/2?
I just couldn't.
5 1/3, 53.
God, what are you guys doing? Only 5 1/3.
Like we always do.
So yeah, but it's we figured it all out. Not all out. I mean, we'll be figuring it out for decades.
We'll still argue. It happens.
Yeah, definitely.
But the thing is, you always work it out.
You make up, and then it's forgotten. That's the thing.
You
can't
our
hold
arguments
grudges.
don't last as long, and we'll still yell at each other. It happens, but
it does. It's just realistic, but it
doesn't
last.
Today.
It doesn't last, and then it's like, it's all over.
It happened today, but it was over.
Yep. So, but yeah, that's marriage.
Yes.
That's good. I wouldn't trade it in for anything, obviously.
Oh, I love you.
Anyway,
only 11% of marriages don't have any fights. So,
it's a low
number.
I don't know. I think
it's
almost a good sign because you're communicating.
I think it's kind of unhealthy to not. I don't know. Have some kind of.
I mean, if it's natural, then
it just depends on your. It just depends. I don't. I think if you're communicating, it really doesn't matter how.
Right.
Whether as long as you're successful at it. Now, too much of any one thing is bad, but I mean, if you yell because you're frustrated, that's okay. Yep. With good technique, you didn't have to yell, but sometimes you get mad and just let them have it. And it is what it is.
Yeah. Sometimes, it just happens.
I would try not to, though. I'd be careful with that because.
Oh yeah.
We do.
It can't become a habit.
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
But yeah, it's
if it doesn't,
I've got TI.
What's that, Justin?
And I've got like TI energy and stuff like that. So, if I can build up a lot of power. So I wouldn't really want to do too much of that.
Brandon already controls me with his energy enough times just to play around.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, but I'm a martial artist. See, it's a different type. It's a warrior energy. You don't want to do that too much.
No, not really. Yeah, and you have to be careful when you're a really good magical user. You don't want to use your words the wrong way because that can be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's happened before.
Anyway, that's
a lot better.
I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any other questions about that in the future. I think you'll be fine though.
That was great.
Mm-hmm.
I know programmers just.
I think I'm ready for an introverted woman now.
But anyway, so
I think I'm ready for an introverted woman now.
I know that's funny. So, did everyone see the? First of all, are there any other specific questions? I mean, feel free. I don't care. Did everyone see? I know several of you did the post from yesterday about the big manifestations.
Yep.
This week I feel like is just wait till you see Thursday's post. This week is like misconceptions week because
misconceptions. Okay.
Because in a vacuum, it shouldn't be any more difficult. But we're not in a vacuum. We're like in live, real action.
If you were like if you were perfect at this and like but then how would you be in the physical body though? I think being in a physical body sort of presupposes that you're going to have some stuff going on. I don't.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In technically, it's all the same thing, but not in the real world. It's like oh god, I'm sorry for this example.
On paper.
It's like when I took physics. I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. All these equations only applied in a vacuum. Like, how fast things fell in gravity, 9.8 meters squared, whatever, or meters per second squared. Is that? Yeah. And all this kind of... It only worked in a vacuum. The second you introduce real world stuff, like air resistance and friction, it totally changes. I'm like, why? How is any of this practical? It's just in a vacuum that a lot of this applies. So, then it gets really complicated. So, law of attraction, I feel like a lot of the stuff that's talked about is sort of like, yeah, in theory, with zero resistance, this is how it works. But try to do that in everyday reality, and it's not it's not going to go that way.
Like I said, I like to say either like it's on paper or a perfect kata, or it's on paper.
Right.
It just doesn't. You see what happens in a football game. Those plays do not always work like you draw them up.
Exactly.
That's just it.
Exactly.
So.
Right. It's never, reality is never so nice as what you imagine up in your mind.
Oh.
It's like, oh yeah, but that's, yeah. So I think, this week and on Thursday, I'm going to be talking about why it is some people seem to be, happy and very nice and kind people, and yet they don't have what they want. And that seems to go against the law of attraction, because it says feel good, be positive, and you're going to get everything you want. And then you see happy people who are struggling, and you see rich people who are sort of sour and sort of not so nice. And it's like, well, what's going on? What gives? So that'll be Thursday's topic. But so that's why I'm saying this is kind of misconceptions week, because it's a question that a lot of people deal with. I've seen it on like discussion forums a lot, and someone will say, I know this person who's really miserable, and yet they have everything they want. They have all these wonderful things in life and whatever. And the normal common response is like, well, you don't really know what their vibration's like, so it's sort of a cop out response, because it's not really an answer. It's like, well, I see them on the outside. I see what they do in day-to-day life.
It just depends. Well, go ahead.
Go ahead, Ria.
Oh, go ahead, Justin.
Okay. Go ahead, Justin.
I'm just saying it just depends on how well they line up with a certain vibration at any given time.
Right.
They might be able to line up with the money vibration, but just be terrible at other stuff.
Yeah.
It's just how you line up.
Too.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
I have seen one of my friend is like that. I mean, she's not very good with people, but she's just like focused on how to go on the top, and in a career wise, and she has a highest salary right now, and it's all about the money and business, and she just thinks about that all the time. She cannot talk much about people and their things. She cannot talk about normal life things, but she does talk about all, how to establish these things, what, how to start a businesses, how people can do small business and then grow up. And it's all about all the time property, money, business, and of course she has, a lot of money, no doubt. So I believe it's just the constant focus is on only and only that thing, and they're very clear about what they want.
And that's, and that is a textbook case of structural tension. A laser focus on what you want to the exclusion of all else. The determination to reach it, and it honestly doesn't matter how you feel. And that's like going against everything that people will say, but it really doesn't matter so much how you feel, because you are determined, you're focused, you are there. And as long as you're lining up with that goal, as long as you're saying, I'm going to reach it, you don't have to be in this.
I know a doctor like that. I had a doctor like that.
Yeah.
Who was, I had him for my eyes when I was in high school. And he had this 60-page portfolio. I don't know, it was like 48 or 60 pages, all about glaucoma.
Oddly specific.
Huh?
It's oddly specific, 48 or 60.
It was something like that. I don't know. It was like a lot of pages, okay? It was huge. Very smart. He had Mary Higgins Clark. He had all these famous people for glaucoma. Like he's one of the like leading experts in glaucoma. Bedside manner, horrible. Absolutely horrible. By the way, I was the only person he couldn't fix.
Yeah.
Boy, did I humble him.
Who couldn't stand him?
She didn't like him.
I didn't like him. Now, this doctor, this is one of my eye doctors I had for a very brief time, because I had a problem. My eye pressures went up too high. So I needed to have a new kind of an experimental eye surgery done. But this eye doctor, who claimed to be able to fix everybody, couldn't fix me. And this guy was very famous.
Right.
But he thought he could fix me and couldn't. But my point was he was very successful. He is very successful.
Right.
But his bedside manner wasn't good.
Right. So, like I said, the point is, laser focus, like your friend you said, Rhea. Laser focused.
Yeah.
Determination, persistence,
Yep.
belief that you're going to reach it. That's the recipe.
Yep, that's definitely what he had.
It's that structural tension.
But Brandon, one thing I want to say, whoever they like these people, their other areas of their life are not that balanced. You know what I mean? I mean, they don't care if their people in their personal life, are like there, and the way sometimes they are rude, and they just cut off straight away, and that. So they don't care about all they care about their success,
right?
Their money, their thing, and how they're being on top all the time. That's all they care about.
And I think it's not a rule that it has to be that, and that's why I want to say, there's no rule that on either side of this. There's no rule that happiness equals success or kindness equals success or anything like that. There's also no rule that success equals selfishness and being rude to everyone in your life. It's just, there's all kinds. I can think many people who are rich, who are awesome people, and many people who are rich and successful who are horrible people. It just doesn't.
It doesn't. One thing doesn't equate.
It depends.
Right. It doesn't have to go together.
It just depends on how. It just depends on how you line up. It's probably a little easier to make money if you're happy, but it's definitely not a rule.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Why
I wouldn't say it was easier. Do you think?
Now, here's the thing: the happy people probably have better balance.
Yeah.
So. But they're going to lack. It depends on where they're balanced.
Happiness or focus.
It depends, because I've seen a lot of, and this is kind of the stereotypical spiritual person who's like really happy.
Okay, that don't count.
Really, okay, that don't count. Really happy and really kind.
They don't. That's fake.
Yeah, but like let's say someone who's really happy and really kind and giving, but. Let's say this person doesn't, take time for herself or doesn't, allow herself to receive. I see that all the time.
Yeah.
I see it all the time.
The self-sacrificing, super happy.
That's fake, though.
Yeah, it is largely fake. But then, well, I don't want to say all of it's fake, because they are, very nice people. They're very giving people.
They're trying to. It's just.
But it's just that they're not letting themselves be in the place where they can actually get some of that back. So, it just really depends. But yeah, it's about the focus. There's no rule about it. Like I said, there's no rule that happiness or kindness equals success or anything, or that success equals meanness and whatever. It just really depends. And I think that really, and this is why I like to talk about this stuff, because here's the thing: is that people discredit the law of attraction because it seems so airy-fairy. Think positive thoughts and you'll get everything you want in life. I mean, that's really what the secret boils down to. And I can't even stand to watch the movie, so I'm just going by.
I can't either.
That's really what it boils down to. Feel good and you'll get everything that you desire.
No way.
No, it doesn't work like that. It just doesn't.
Exactly.
I've talked. You wouldn't believe how many people I've talked to who say, "I've tried to feel good for months, for years.
Yes.
Nothing has changed. Why?" And now here's you go on to I dare someone to go on to, like, let's say anyone ever been on like the Abraham forum and and ask them, "I've been feeling good for so long. Why hasn't it happened?" And I guarantee, here's what they'll say. Because you're doing it to get your goal, not just to feel good. That's what they'll. Well, no, I've been feeling good about it. I know it'll come, but it just hasn't. Well, you're focused on it not coming. That's why it's not. Well, no. I've not been. It's just after a while, you just notice. It's been 10 years. It's not here yet.
True.
They will go all through,
Yes.
through all sorts of mental gymnastics to keep that
Yep.
delusion alive that feel good equals get all the stuff you want. But in the real world, and this is the thing, the law of attraction has to be grounded in reality. You have to look out to the world, and you have to say, are the richest people also the happiest people? Are the most successful people also the happiest people? No.
No.
Sometimes yes, but not all the time.
Yes.
Not
all the time.
Some of the happiest people are the poorest people.
Yes.
And
Yep.
so why is that? That seems to really deal a fatal blow to the common understanding of the law of attraction.
I dare someone to ask Abraham.
Why are... Oh, I guarantee they'd say something very similar.
Huh?
They'd say something like that, what I said before, or you're just focused on it not coming, or you're just...
No,
whatever.
Why are some poor people so happy?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to see what they said about that.
Because I went to El Salvador and saw it. Sorry, go ahead,
Justin.
If you are abundant, if you feel abundant, a lot of times you say, I'm poor, but if I have everything I need,
right,
and
abundance
really I have nothing
ways. Right.
Yeah, it can work a lot of different ways. I'm not saying that they have abundance. I'm just saying that,
right.
A lot of times that's it. But, I mean, no, you have to be kind of focused on your goal. You can't.
It doesn't.
You actually have to you have to meditate every day.
Right.
Almost every day. You really need to meditate every day. Feel that energy, and literally let that goal flow to you every day.
You have to
or you can use, you have to embody it, or you can, you can use magic. You can do whatever you need to do, but you have to do something.
But see, the traditional... Yeah. But the traditional law of attraction mode is just feel good about your goal, let it go, don't even think about it, and it'll come. And there are forums out there littered with tons of accounts of, well, I did that and it didn't come. Well, you weren't doing it right.
Yeah. You're not doing it right. No. Here's the thing: is they probably weren't doing it right, but that's a horrible answer to give someone.
They were doing it according to the explanation given to them. So according, they were doing it textbook, by the book, but it's not correct. So what I'm saying is you have to ground your understanding of this stuff in reality. Okay, so if this teacher says that the better I feel, the more successful I'll be, okay, that should follow then that the most successful people also are the happiest. No.
Yeah.
Okay, well, why is that?
Exactly.
Okay, well, there's something wrong there.
Exactly.
So is the law of attraction not true, or is it just this teacher not know what they're talking about? It is true. The law of attraction is totally true, but it's not, like you said, Justin, it's not a passive just feel good and let it come. That's only if you're close. If you're in the, did you see the poster talking about the current level goals versus the next level goals? If that's on your level, then you can be there and it'll come to you. Okay, because it's on your level. Or if it's even a little bit, say a little bit above your level, you can. It's sort of enough to let go, and that raises you that little bit. If it's like way above, like you're looking up a mountain up at it, you got to go to it. You have to, focus, develop structural tension. You have to do all that. That's the only way. Just being passive, just feeling good about it, is not going to work. Because what's going to happen is one of two things. Either reality will remind you that you're not there, and I'm not there, and you drop it, or you sugarcoat reality, and I'm really abundant right now, and it's great, and and that's a great method to feel okay right now. But you also have to, okay, I want such and such a month, and I'm getting less than that in a month, and don't lie to yourself. Don't put all these pretty images in your people's, all these visualizations of
vision boards,
money raining down, or whatever, and that's great to get in the state of your goal, but then you have to bring it down to reality by saying, okay, that's what I want. I am not there. Okay, that's the tension, and it takes that determination, that commitment to really stick to that and let that tension resolve, into having your goal. So that's the thing. It's mainly about focus. I mean, yes, feeling good is part of it. Obviously it is, but it's not the whole story. It's not the whole story. So I really, really encourage people, when you're learning these things, first of all, try them out in your reality, and second of all, observe. Observe. I mean, that's like that's the strength of NLP. It's all based on observation. Okay, what worked for this person? And now let's test what specific thing they were doing got that result. Okay, so they'll model these behaviors. That's observation. So you can do the same thing with law of attraction. This successful person, okay, are they always happy? No. They're always feeling good? No. Do they always believe in themselves? Not necessarily. Do they have super high self-esteem? Not always. Some of them do, some of them don't. Okay, well, something's going
on. It's not going to be permanent state, no matter what state that is.
Right.
It's gonna keep varying, and again, I would say everybody's definition of success is different. Right. Some people say, "Oh, I want a happy relation, and I don't care how much money I have." Some people say, "Oh, I all I want is money. I don't care about relations."
Exactly.
And it just keeps. Everybody has their personal thing, and then that's what I said to you yesterday. When I started thinking, I said, hang on a minute, I just think it will make me happy, but I don't feel it. So this is not what I want.
Right.
I need to feel that.
Yes.
Then I know that, okay, this is what it is for me.
Right. So. Yeah, you have to choose what you want to create. You have to choose, okay, this is the direction I want to go in, and this is where I want to go, and, this is really what I want, and then go there. But it's just we have to be realistic. We have to be grounded when we talk about this stuff, because it's really easy to feel warm and fuzzy when you listen to, and I'm sorry I'm picking on Abraham today, but an Abraham video, people love to listen to those and stay in this high, their term, high flying disc, and but then nothing changes, and I experienced that. And I'm speaking from experience, because I followed them to a T for quite a while, and I felt really great, and I believed in myself, and I believed in my goals, and nothing happened. And I talked about in one of my posts, I think last Fridays, I don't remember which one.
8 months or something.
I talked about in one of my posts about how last year I wanted to go on a trip for our anniversary. And
last post, post,
and so I thought, well,
I think it was just yesterday's.
Was
no?
it? I don't
Maybe
know.
It was last.
Yeah, yesterday's post.
Yeah, probably.
The very latest, yeah.
Right. So I said, I'll do what Abraham says. I will feel good about it for like 68 seconds. I'll let it go, and I won't even think about it. It's already out there. My inner being is already holding that for me, and blah blah blah. And I'm just gonna let it go, not think about it. And when I do think about it, I'll feel good about it. So I did that, and literally nothing happened. Outer reality just stayed exactly the same. Nothing happened. So I did the same thing this year. I really want to go on this trip. So I said, all right. And I was really, this was the moment of truth for me, because it was like, at the time, it really discouraged. I tried this. I did exactly what they said to do, and it didn't work. So am I just deluding myself? Am I, deceiving myself? So this year I said, I don't know why it didn't work last year. I was still figuring all this stuff out at the time. I don't know why it didn't work last year, but I'm going to try it again. And I did it differently. Every day I focused. I'm going on this trip, to this hotel we love to stay at. I'm going. Somehow it's going to happen. What was it? Within a week, was it, Christine?
Yeah.
Within a week, someone offered to pay for us to go to this, and we didn't even ask them. They just, we want to give you this thing for your anniversary.
Hey.
Right?
Yeah.
And
wow.
that it happened. It was amazing. We didn't spend a single cent.
And someone even paid for our breakfast.
Someone paid for our breakfast, yeah. Which didn't even matter because we wouldn't have to pay for it anyway because it was already, we had this.
But we let them
food voucher thing. But yeah,
we let
someone paid. Some random stranger saw us and wanted to pay for our breakfast. Like everyone was super nice there. It was an amazing.
They just wanted because it was our anniversary.
Now see, I cut my teeth on Wayne Dyer, and that's what he said do every day was meditate. So that's why. And remember, I told you a few years ago I'm a meditator, and I said that.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, well, that's fine, but I'm not. I said, okay, but that's how I got things to go. I focused on it every day. Now I sometimes when I was mad, I use a hell of a lot of force.
I do, yeah. But, I do.
It still worked.
Right. I do focused meditations. Like I don't just sit there and breathe, and that is a very helpful thing.
Yeah.
And I did that for years, but I don't do it.
I don't call it meditation either. It's more of a focus.
I will sit for a few minutes and I will align with my goal, or I will journal. Journaling is like my meditation. I will journal, and I've said this technique before.
You can connect with spirit any way you want. So.
Right. I will journal and just connect with my goal and embody it and write as though I'm there. That's what really moves the energy for me. You know what I mean? That gets it so into reality. So, it just depends. I mean, whatever works for you is what works for you, right? So, but it has to be every day. It has to be every day, at least most days. But it should be. I've read this book last year by John Kehoe, which Mind Power into the 21st Century, and he said, you need to visualize. His thing was visualization. You need to do this every day. Like if you miss a day, especially in the beginning, it's like missing 5 days. It's how important it is. Well, that's just what he's. It's like because it's not regular. It's like trying to pick up a habit. It's like if you wanted to do something.
Yeah, I see what he's talking about.
Right, and so you do that habit, but then like, oh well, I don't really feel like it today, and then
you just stop doing it.
And it's not going to develop as a habit, right? Or it takes a lot longer. So it's for your subconscious to take it on. It takes everyday focus. It really does. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, it's I had a client just I think it was last week, and I was working with her on the goal, and she's like, I've been feeling good about this thing for years, and just nothing happened. I said, well, let's try this. I walked her through my normal technique, and this is totally different. This is absolutely. I don't know why I've never done this. This is totally different.
What was she doing?
She was just feeling good about her goal, just daydreaming, just kind of thinking about it. Nothing happened. Nothing shifted.
You got to.
I led her through the art of reality creation technique, and it was a total shift. It was a total difference. So, you know what I mean? Like that's really, and plus I merged that with structural tension, which really gets that up anyway because you're raising a lot of energy, you're bringing up a lot of emotion, and then you come back to normal reality, and it's what it is. So that it's sort of by itself develops structural tension, but it's very important. But like I said, ground your observations, ground your ideas about how all this stuff works in everyday reality. Test it out. I mean, I've said forever now that I use my own life as sort of a law of attraction laboratory in a way, like testing out these different ideas, what works, what doesn't, and so I've refined it a lot over the last year and a half, especially, and it does really work, but I just feel like a lot of people dismiss it because of the common view of it. Just feel good and think positive, and you'll get everything you want, and that kind of thing. And it's not how it is. So that'll be any thoughts about that? Sorry, talk forever.
Well, I mean I meditate every day, and just sometimes twice a day. I like to do one where I feel just I just meditate and call the energy.
Right.
And I like to do one that's focused. A lot of times I'll sit there at work and meditate for a minute or two.
Oh, man, I'll do that too.
Tap my energy. I do what I call energy tapping. So I just tap my inner self. I've been doing it for years, and it works. I mean, you can pump your body if you want. You can shoot energy out and do things like that. I play around. So when I need to do something, I can just shape it and go.
Right.
So, but then when I want something, I just find a way. I just tell the universe, hey man, this is what I want.
Right.
I just find a way to get it. I use meditation, like you talked about, and
right.
I'm just happy I got to, like I say, learn more about how the mystic, the hermit path works.
Hermit crab, yeah.
But the hermit crab. Yeah, I was hoping to do that. How the hermit path / hermit crab works.
You want to say the crab now? That's it. It's done. It's officially the hermit crab.
It is the hermit crab. Hermit crab feels good. It's surrounded by water. Hey.
Oh my god.
Even got protections on. It's got its own armor. It's even shielded. But you can't even mess with this energy.
We have a whole philosophy. We have the whole philosophy of the hermit crab. This is like next we got to write a book about this.
This is a cult.
So, but I love I think the hermit path is really good for not letting you crumble.
Right.
Like, I think that is a very good base. Without that base, it becomes a lot of hard work. Like, you really wouldn't, but you do not need it. If you just have laser-guided focus, you can get it, whatever you want. And I do think the hermit path is great for helping you hang on to it. But, I mean, that path, the Megas path.
Yes.
The Megas crab.
Oh my God, there's another crab now.
Pretty awesome.
Oh God, I will never be able to say that word again or that phrase again without laughing. I'm sorry.
Poor person on turf.
I kind of do something. I do some stuff called like shamanic journey, which really helps for symbolism and for like energy and stuff.
Right.
And I do things like I do some other stuff that I've just learned over the years. I'm gonna set up some space and just work on their own.
Well, I want to say, I think I've really come into an understanding of like where all these fit together, and I think in the hermit crab. So the Magus path, the structural tension, the focus, the drive, that gets you up to the next level. That really gets you. And I find myself. I should write a post about this. Next week's going to be like Psychic Week, because I'm preparing for a psychic course I'm releasing in January. So next week's Psychic Week. The week after that, I might do about this idea that I'm about to talk about. But I find that, like, I've been on this, in my income goal. I've been raising my income goal 3 months in a row. But I find myself needing a period of rest to kind of acclimate, to kind of, internalize the learnings that I've received over the past 3 months. And so I feel like there's this cycle of expansion, and then just relaxation. Expansion and relaxation. So
you took a month off?
No.
So, not this month. So, where it doesn't mean you'll return to where you were before. You're going to stabilize at your new level. Because it's like...
that's what I'll do.
Right, because it's like you can't just keep going up.
No, you can't do it.
You need a period of like, let everything just... Okay, now I'm at the next level. Now let's just rest here for a while. And then I'll build up the energy. Okay, now I'm going to push to the next level. And then, okay. So that is what I find is the strength of the passive, of the just, okay, let's just feel good for a while and not try so hard. Because then you can really fully stabilize on the next level. You're not just pushing. You need a period of just relaxation and rest where you can internalize and integrate the learnings from the last, however long. So I think it's a balance. The driver of the whole thing is that, Megas, the pushing, the, structural tension, the drive, the choice, the deliberate choice. That's really the driving force behind the whole thing. But then, it's like I've been talking about climbing the mountain. You climb the mountain and then you get to the peak and you just need to spend a few minutes at the peak and just, I got here.
Yeah.
And I had a little bit of that after each goal, but it was only for a day or so, and then I'm like focusing on the next goal. And I feel my energy needing a time of like, I'm at this new level. I'm at the peak. I'm at the peak now. I spend some time at the peak, and then I'll go to the next peak, like a plateau sort of thing, and that's how it's. So that's how I find it coming together, And I
see.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I never thought of it like that.
That's how I've been doing it. That's how I've been doing it.
Yeah.
I would explode forward. I would burst and then stay. Burst, stay.
Yep.
I've done that for years. I never called it the hermit path, but I just said, okay, my energy needs to rest. I do a lot of stuff off key. My energy needs to rest. And then I would burst upwards and then just, but that's why I like sometimes to meditate with autofocus.
Right.
Because it lets you really, really commune.
Right.
And just, it lets you get rid of resistance and get the feelings, and you let your thoughts flow without trying to do anything. And then you can get your meditation where you're just moving, like really focused. Like, what's up? We'll get this. You know what I mean?
Right. Because, the important thing is, like I said before, is that once you do reach that next level, like I said, you're not going to go back to where you were. So because some people are worried about, like, if I don't intend something, will it still happen? No. Look, the subconscious mind is a great thing. A lot of times we demonize it, like it has all these limiting beliefs in it and blah, blah. No, it does a really great job at doing what it's doing now. Okay? Look at what you're doing now in life. You're effortlessly doing what you're doing now in life, right? How do you think you got there? It's your subconscious that says, okay, well, that's easy. It's your current level goals. You don't even think about these things. You don't think about, if you have a job, the fact that you have this job, keeping the job in most cases, and that kind of thing. Or making the amount of money you make a month, right? You don't think about those things. But, when you push to the next level, you're changing all the stuff underneath in the subconscious mind. But then once you release and once you give that time of rest, then that's the new normal. You don't need to have an intention to stay where you are. The subconscious will say, oh, that's normal now. It doesn't want to go back to where it was before if you've really reached your goals and acclimated to that new level. It doesn't want to. It will stay where it is. Okay, as long as you don't have like a whole bunch of resistance come up, and it shouldn't if you're not like trying to intend something new. Like if you fully align with the goal, you shouldn't have trouble keeping it, right? Some people will do that where they align too quickly or they go too quickly and then they lose it.
Mm-hmm.
But that won't happen if you've aligned, if you've used the methods I've outlined, and then you reach it, and you say, all right, now I can stay here. I'm good. I'm pretty good for a little bit. And then your subconscious mind says, "Oh, this is the new normal, right? This is the new normal," and then it will automate. It will automate your level of success, your level of everything, right? You don't need to keep that going. It's not a constant push. It's a push and then a relaxation, a push and then a relaxation. That's really the cycle of all this stuff. So that's really I think, and I've been, I fully admit, I'm not coming at this as one who knows everything. I've been learning. You've looked back over my posts in the last 3 months or 4 months.
I have.
I've learned massive amounts, just through experimentation. And I will freely say the last 3 months have been the most successful months of my life.
Right.
Because of these new techniques. But I recognize now my energy is like, I just need some time.
Yeah.
I'm climbing this mountain. Once I reach the top, it's like, what'd you say, Justin?
I've been with you since March, so I've watched the metamorphosis.
Oh yeah, you've been seeing it since March. Yeah, you've been seeing since
the good thing is I had my own technique, so when I'm like, okay,
right,
I can't use this right now. I'm just going to use, and then I go back to Brandon's technique. Oh man, this works.
Right. So I think like before, the reason I said that we'll end this time, I know we're over time, but before, I said the hermit path, like I said, both paths are equally good for getting what you want. They're just one's active, one's passive. I'm altering that to say the active path, the magus path, climbs that mountain to the next level, gets you up the slope, gets you to the next level. The hermit crab path lets you acclimate to that level. It lets you stay, and you might even find a kind of burst of sudden abundance because you've dropped all that resistance because you're no longer trying to get up the hill. So you might kind of your new level. Okay, I'll give a quick example, and then I'm really sorry. I'm a pianist, as you know, and I find if I struggle for like 5 days at a certain difficult part of a piece, now that part's necessary. You have to struggle at it for your subconscious to get the point. But then if I leave it for like a week and I come back to it, do you know what happens? Yep. I'm better at it than I was.
It's like you take a break.
Right.
So I got to say this. I didn't want to tell anyone that. I do that with some of my goals.
Yeah.
I get to a certain internal level and I go, okay, it's done. Right. And then I come back to it and it's like, oh, this feels
well. So what might happen? Let's take money. So you might be climbing up the mountain, financially, like, okay, reaching the new peak, and you'll get there, and then you let go, and all of a sudden your income jumps up another small, not a huge level, but it jumps up another small level, because you've let go, and then your subconscious automates and it gets a little better at it, right? And then you practice again. You struggle, push structural tension,
struggle,
and then you get up that next level, and then you let go, and then it jumps up another bit. That's what happens. So it's this back and forth. So
that makes sense because a lot of times,
and then
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Christine.
When I practice, sometimes like for music, I'm like, screw this, I'm done. I can't do this anymore.
Right.
And then I let it sit in my head, even for a day. Next, I'm like, why was this so hard yesterday?
Right. Exactly.
And I'm like, oh, this is.
And then I guarantee, and Christine, you've not done this much, but if you come back to it after a week.
I have, though, before. And I'm like, well, even with the mass parts, the stuff I did for church, I'm like, oh.
And it'll be like, why was this ever hard for me? Like, I'll struggle with this really difficult part of the piece, and then I'll leave it for a few days, and I'll come back. Why was that? Or I'll come back after a month. You don't lose technique. You don't.
No.
You might be a little rusty for a little bit, and then you go back, oh, why was that ever hard for me?
I'm curious what would happen if I waited and played it in 3 weeks.
You should.
I should. And not played at all.
You might have to relearn a bit of it, but the technique will be there.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's how it works. So you release, you go back to the hermit, the resting, and then it catches up with you, and then you're a little higher than you even were.
Yeah.
That's, I think, what happens a lot. Yeah. So if you want to move forward, if you're at where you are right now, and you've gotten everything you can, you've squeezed every last bit of juice out of it, and you've gotten everything you can out of it, you got to use the Maker's Path. I'm sorry, you just have to. You can't be passive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do.
Have to use
it's a both and, right?
Yeah, it's a both.
You have to increase that focus.
Right. You have to take that. You have to climb it. You can't get up Mount Everest by relaxing. You got to train. You got to climb. You got to do all that work. But then, when you let go at the end, then you really fly up there.
Climb every mountain. Sorry. From the sound of music.
Well, I'll tell you this: with the hermit crab path, you have a huge claw to keep everyone at bay.
I'm sorry.
You don't. I say with the hermit crab path, what helps you stay stabilized, you have a huge claw to keep everyone at bay. You got your own shell.
That's right.
So you got protection. And
that's right. Inside joke.
Yeah, that's
how I do it.
I'm sorry. Our new logo is a crab. Anyway, but yeah, so that's. I hope that makes it. I'm going to talk about Thursday's going to be about happiness and success, and then I think in the beginning of 2017 we're going to talk about this thing about the burst and then the relax, the burst and relax, the burst and relax. So like I said, I'm learning right along with everyone else. It's just I test everything very, 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 very much, brutally on my own in my own life, and I see what works, I see what doesn't. I've thrown away a lot of stuff. I've thrown away a lot of stuff that I thought worked, and then not really. But like I said, in the last couple of months, I've gotten way more success than ever using the Abraham methods. I'm sorry for people who might like them, but it's just the truth for me. I've just gotten way more success. It's an objective measure. You have to look. Okay, doing X didn't work. Doing Y worked. Okay, well, Y works a bit better. And then you might find Z that works better, and that's cool. Or Z might work worse. So you go back to Y, and it's part scientific. It's art and science.
And I've also found I have to find the right thing that gets my connections. It's like it just has to be the right phrase or the right. Whatever it is, and then that builds my attention. Where I'm like, okay, because I might try. I want $2,000 more a month. It just didn't do anything. But I think that if I go, okay, if I want something else, then, or I might say I want $1,000 a month, and that might work for whatever reason that time. And I might say, well, so I noticed that sometimes I have to find with a certain vibration, just a certain, I don't know how to explain it, the certain phrasing or the certain internal switch. And once you got it,
tell you why it is. Actually, I know exactly. Go ahead, Brenda.
That's because it's not a cookie cutter type process.
It's not.
Each person has their own
but also
energy vibration. So if you're going to use like the Hicks method or something like that, that works for him. That may not work for me or for you because our vibrations are totally different than his.
What I
but the basic method is almost the same. Go ahead.
I will dispute that a little bit because NLP is based on there's a little variation, but the basic stuff's going to be the same. I will say a lot of people who are successful have no idea why they are. So I guarantee if you talk to Esther and she's like, oh yeah, I just do Abraham stuff, I guarantee behind the scenes, and she might not even know it, she's doing something different. And just puts in that framework, and that's what she thinks is going on.
We're breaking it down.
Right, exactly. So I dispute that a little bit. What works. I have a scientific mindset. If it works, it works. Now, you might have to change a little bit just for your own personal situation. But let me tell you, Justin, why I see what you said.
Not much, though.
Right, not much. Why I see what you said happening here, because it happened to me a little bit. If you want 2,000, it might not be motivating enough. You're not just going to say, why? You might just say, well, something cool. 50 goal. Well, that's not enough. Why do you want the 2,000? Well, I want it so I can do X. Why? Okay, so I want, for me, I want to, let's say, save up for a new computer. Okay, that's one of my long-term goals, right? So if I make X, then I can put Y away for a new computer every month. Oh, now there's the inspiration because now it's tied to something.
There's inspiration,
right? So if
I left that part out.
If the money amount, if you're like 2,000 a month, I'm not doing it. It's just well, tie that to thing. What would you do if you had that much? Well, I do this, I do that.
Yeah.
Oh, now that's the inspiration. And then you say, well, if I had $2,000 a month, I could do that, right? And then there's your inspiration.
That's your emotion.
Right. That's your inspiration, which you need for the goal. Inspiration, believability, and challenge. Challenging. So there's your inspiration. There's your emotion. But sometimes you got to tell your subconscious mind why it should be interested. $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
What should I care? Well, if we get this, then we can go on vacation, or we can buy a computer, or we can do this, or we can do that. Right.
For me, it's been able to use Uber all the time.
Yeah. I wrote that in my journal last night. I said, when I get this goal, I want to go to Angie's. It's my favorite Italian restaurant here. I want to go to Angie's, and we don't have to rely on people. We can use a taxi. That was in my journal last night.
Right.
Because I hate relying on people to drive us there, and then we have to wait. If they're busy, we have to wait like a half an hour for them to come pick us up. And so, so that was in my journal. We can afford to use the taxi, or something like that. So that's definitely, So
that's my goal, is to be able to go back and forth over to work, man, instead of waiting an hour and then getting home almost an hour later. Oh my God.
Right.
The taxis take forever here, too.
Yeah, I'll call them ahead of time and then be like, I need it this time. But tie it to a specific thing you want that really does motivate you.
Yep.
Because sometimes money just isn't enough. Because it's what the money gets you that you're really interested in, right? So, even security, even savings accounts, or then I can build up an emergency fund. Oh, that's exciting. Or I can, whatever. And that's what you're getting at, and that's why it's not inspiring to you if you focus on the 2000.
I want a pool inside the house.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have to swim in it. Like we wouldn't have any room to walk.
I'm just saying, eventually, I want a house with an indoor pool.
That's Christine's goal. House with an indoor pool.
Eventually.
Well, focus on it. You manifest it. I always manifest the money stuff.
It's a pool?
She wants a pool.
A house with a pool, yeah.
Inside.
That's cool.
That's what she wants.
Eventually.
You manifest. I always manifest the money stuff.
I'm just saying. Maybe not this house, but I'm saying eventually.
This house we'd have to way out of... Or we'll get like one of those pool houses and have like a little hallway that connects to it.
There you go, see?
That'd be cool.
That shed there.
Anyway. Sorry, we're interior decorating. Okay. We're home planning on our sport call. Anyway, so does that all make sense to everyone? I'm sorry to go over time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it does. I felt the same thing. You got to have a inspiration, and that puts tension on that wire, and that's what I use.
Right. I swear, this is like our Law of Attraction Mastermind group.
I know, right?
That should be the name of it. That should be the name of it. Law of Attraction Mastermind group. Because it's like, we have such, just describing everything.
The hermit crabs.
The hermit crabs.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
Well, I hope that makes sense to everyone. I'm glad that we were able to discuss
it absolutely does.
Good.
Of course.
Awesome. So,
it was fun.
I hope everyone has a great Christmas. Tell me if you guys.
Yeah, wish you all Merry Christmas.
I planned on having a call next Tuesday. If you guys just don't want to do it, that's whatever. But if there's,
is everyone busy the week between Christmas and New Year's?
Yeah, what's everyone doing the week between Christmas and New Year's?
Yeah.
If we have,
I'm not busy so far.
If we have one, because I'm
not either so far.
All right, we'll do the call. We'll do the call next Tuesday, and
unless I don't know what I'll do, what I'm doing.
Well, it's fine. I'm gonna be here. After Christmas, I'm done. and then I have another. New Year's isn't bad. We don't spend that with family really, so New Year's is easy for me.
Oh, I love New Year's. There's a lot to do.
New Year's.
Aren't we spending it? New Year's Eve, man.
Okay.
Go out, party.
New Year's is fun. All right.
Tonight's the solstice.
Bye. Take care.
Yeah, it is.
Tonight's the solstice.
Yeah, it is.
Don't forget.
So happy Yule, everyone.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
happy Yule.
All right. So then we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
What are you doing for the winter solstice? You doing something for that?
I honestly don't know yet. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
What do you do?
All right. Well, y'all have a great day. I hope you do something for it. We'll holler back.
Yeah. What are you doing for the solstice?
I thought I was going to one place, and some friends are going to come over,
That's
and
cool.
I've got some candle stuff to do starting tomorrow. I've got like all kinds of I've got oils, I've got candle stuff. I got to do some things to, to make my life more smooth.
It'll probably just be simple for us. Like, I don't know.
I don't know what to do for it.
I'm going to keep it simple. But
you would. I'm trying to remember what Wicca does. I mean, you're honoring the death of
Kyrkanos.
Kyrkanos. Yeah, but you're not really. Hades and who's it?
Persephone.
And Hades and Persephone. I think you're honoring that.
Right.
In your case.
Right.
If that's what you want to do. Most pure Wiccans do the Kyrkanos. Right. I will do some sort of candle ritual that will have nothing to do with the solstice. But I will use waning moon. If it's there, I'll probably use some Archangel Raphael and
it's the waning.
It's the waning. John the Conqueror.
Today it's the third quarter moon, so it's the waning crescent tomorrow. So.
Yeah. I'm gonna remove some stuff. You don't have to remove it. I'm gonna remove stuff because I've got. And next Thursday, I light me an Archangel Michael candle at some point this week. And next Thursday, I'm gonna get me an Archangel candle with white.
Good.
And light it for Michael.
Awesome. So. All right. Well then, I will see you guys next Tuesday. I hope everyone has a great Christmas.
And you too.
You too.
Yeah. All right. Bye, everyone.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.